A pleasant day to everyone. This is Zsann and Jasa from BS Aero Engineering 1A. And for today, we are going to talk about Introduction to Aviation, Principles of Flight. So, a pleasant day to all. My name is Zsann Jasa and I am going to teach you Introduction to Aviation, Principles of Flight. So for our first topic, it's all about history of flight. And I believe there are 8 people who contributed in the history of flight. And for the first one, we have Leonardo da Vinci. He produced many studies about flight of birds, including his 1505 Codex regarding the flight of birds during 1500s. So, si Leonardo da Vinci po, ang study niya is about birds and its codex on flying. So, we can see sa baba yung codex on the flight of birds made by Leonardo da Vinci. For the second one, we have Robert Hooke. So, during 1655, he is a mathematician, physicist, and inventor. So, Robert Hooke concluded that the human body does not have the strength of an artificial wing. So, yung human body, hindi po siya kasing bigat or hindi po siya mas mabigat sa artificial wing natin. So, for the third one, Joseph and Etienne Montgolfier. So, by 1783, the French brothers developed the first ever manned hot air balloon that flew for 23 minutes. So, sila po ang nakagawa ng first ever manned hot air balloon and napalipad po nila for 23 minutes. For the next one, we have Jacques Charles. So, 10 days later after the first manned hot air balloon, he flew the first ever gas balloon. So, si Jacques Charles po ang nagpalipad ng first ever gas balloon 10 days after ng first manned hot air balloon. So, for the fifth one, we have George Coyley. George Coyley is known as the father of aerial navigation. So he believed that the study of kites unlocked the secrets of winged flights. So he also tested the first full-size man-carrying aircraft. So for the sixth one, we have William Samuel Henson. So, William Samuel Henson designed a huge monoplane that was propelled by a steam engine housed inside fuselage. So, ang monoplane po ay may one fixed wing and yun po ang dinesign ni William Samuel Henson na napropel by a steam engine housed inside the fuselage. So next, for the seventh one, we have Otto Lilienthal. So Otto Lilienthal proved that human flight in aircraft heavier than air is practical. He also worked towards the dream of powered flight. And for the last one, we have Wilbur and Orville Wright. So, they flew and constructed the biplane, also called as the flyer. So, kung meron po tayong monoplane, we have biplane. And ang biplane po has 2 fixed wings. So, these are the people who contributed for the history of flight. Okay, so what is the difference between aircraft and an airplane? So, an aircraft is any machine that can fly. So, ang example po ng aircraft are airplane, aircraft, and any flying platforms. I considered na aircraft gaya ng helicopters, yung monoplane, biplane. So, what's an airplane? So, an airplane is a type of aircraft that has fixed wings and is heavier than air. So, ang airplane po ay isang kind ng aircraft. Okay, for our next topic, we have aircraft structure. Okay, so lift and aerodynamics. Ano po ba yon? So, these are the four forces that act upon an aircraft in relation to straight and level on accelerated flight. So, these forces are thrust, lift, weight, and drag. Okay, so thrust. Thrust is the forward force produced by the power plant of propeller. So, siya po yung sa harap. Lift is, it opposes the downward force of weight. It is produced by the dynamic effect of the air acting on the wind. So, for the third one, we have weight. It is the combined load of airplane itself, the crew, the fuel, and the cargo or baggage. And for the drag, it is the rearward retarding force and is caused by disruption of airflow by the wing, fuselage, and other protruding objects. So, these are the description of thrust, lift, weight, and drag. Okay, so an aircraft moves in 3 dimensions and is controlled by moving it about one or more of its axes. So, may 3 dimensions po ang aircraft and nakokontrol siya sa pag-move niya sa one or more na axis niya. So, first is pitching. So, pitching is in lateral axis. So, it is the rotation around the side-to-side pitch. It is also called the elevator control pitch. Second one is the rolling. Rolling is in the longitudinal axis. So, rotation around front to back is roll. So, it is also called as the ailerons control roll. And for the last one, the third one, we have yawing, which is in vertical axis. So, rotation around the vertical axis is yaw, which is also called the rudder control yaw. So, you have a little trivia. CG, or center of gravity, is where is the point of which aircraft will balance. So, it is where the aircraft moves around. So, sa pitching, sa rolling, and sa yawing, yung rotation niya is in the center of gravity. Okay, for the next one, for the third topic, we have major components of an aircraft. So, for the very first one, we have the wings. So, these are the airfoils attached to each wing, to each side of the fuselage, and are the main lifting surfaces that support the airplane in flight. So, monoplanes are airplanes with a set of single wings, and those with 2 sets are called biplane. So, we have 3 principal structural parts of the wings. First one is the ribs, which determine the shape and thickness of the wings. Second is the spar, which carries flight loads and the weight of the wings while on the ground. And for the last one, we have stringers, which serves as the structural components that transfer loads and stresses. Second one is the fuselage. So this is the central body of an airplane and is designed to accommodate the crew, passengers, and cargo. So pag nakasakay na po tayo sa airplane, kung saan po tayo umuupo ay part ng aircraft or airplane fuselage. So for the third one, we have power plant. It should be power plant, I'm sorry. So this includes both the engine and the propeller. So the engine, covered with a cowling or a nacelle that streamline the flow of air around the engine by ducting air around cylinders. And for the propeller, it translates the rotating force of the engine into thrust a forward-acting force that helps move the airplane through the air. For the fourth one, we have landing gear. So this consists of 3 wheels, 2 main wheels, and the third positioned either at the front of the gear or the rear of the airplane. So, yung landing gear po ay may 3 wheels talaga. May 2 main wheel, and yung third, nakaposition siya either sa harap ng 2 main wheels or sa likod ng 2 main wheels. So, we have 2 kinds of gears, and these are conventional landing gear, also referred to as tailwheel airplanes. So, yun po yung third wheel niya ay nakalagay sa likod. And for the tricycle gear, also referred to as nose wheel airplanes, so yung third wheel niya po is located sa harap naman. So, yun po yung difference nila. For the fifth one, we have empennage, which includes the entire tail group and consists of horizontal and vertical stabilizer. So, empennage has movable surface, and these are the rudder, elevator, and trim tabs. Okay, so for our last topic, we have types of aircraft construction. First is the truss structure. So, the truss structure is the main drawback of truss structure. The main drawback of truss structure is its lack of a streamlined shape. So, I'm sorry about that. Also, in the construction method, lengths of tubing called longerons are welded in place to form a well-braced framework. So, makikita po natin sa picture kung saan nakalagay yung longeron. Diagonal web members and vertical web members. Okay, for the next one, we have monocoque. So, monocoque construction uses stressed skin to support almost all loads. Although it is very strong, the construction is not highly tolerant to deformation of the surface. So, kahit na stressed skin yung ginamit, and it is very strong, hindi pa rin siya highly tolerant sa deformation ng surface. Okay, so for the last one, we have semi-monocoque. So, semi-monocoque construction uses a substructure to which the airplane's skin is attached. So, makikita po natin sa pictures na dagdagan may bulkhead, stringers, skin, and formers. Okay, so that is our lesson for today, and I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening, and again, I am Zsann Jasa from BS Aero Engineering 1A.